Can you imagine being a young Jewish student and your parents make you go to like Alabama because they're worried about the anti-Semitism at Columbia?
Right. I'm worried about anti-Semitism in New York City. So I'm gonna go roll Tide down there with all the Klansmen. Like, are you joking?
Tomi Lahren was a guest on Patrick Bet-David's Biz Bro podcast. This gave Emma Vigeland and Sam Seder of The Majority Report a perfect opportunity to make fun of Tomi Lahren and Patrick Bet-David at the same time. We're going to take a look at clips from Patrick Bet-David's show as well as Sam Seder's show. I'm going to share my thoughts on this as well. Let's check it out together.
Let's check in with the PBD crew. Who do they have on? Oh, it's Tomi Lahren. And
wasn't she excommunicated from Republican circles because she dared to support some abortion?
Well,
something like that. She said being pro-choice was a more libertarian route, and now she's trying to get back in with freaks. It looks like.
And here she is, of course. Why do you bring Tomi Lahren on? Well, it's quite obvious. You bring her on to talk about the anti-Semitism on campus.
South Dakota's own Tomi Lahren.
Yep.
That's exceeding $2 billion.
We've got it on Matt speed.
Not watching this at normal speed.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I keep my Columbia University already.
Just to note, this is a few days ago when they thought that Harvard was going to settle with Trump for $500 million, which they're denying now.
Paid $200 million.
Yep.
There's a couple other schools. Brown, I think, is going through a $50 million deal with the administration. UCLA settled for only $6.13 million. But Harvard, $500 million. Tomi, what do you think? Why do you think?
Not about the money, first of all. And we would not be in this situation at all if you could just protect your Jewish students. It's really not that hard. And they fought tooth and nail under a former president, President Otto Penn. I don't think that they felt the pressure and the heat. President Trump
pause it for a second. I haven't seen Tomi Lahren in a long time, and she honestly, if you said oh no, they replaced her with a Borg. Yeah, no, she's now a robot, and she's just programmed to. First of all, she's right. It's not about the money, because the money is just a number that they have decided to choose as to what they're going to punish these schools with. It's also not at all about anti-Semitism. In addition to the anti-Semitism not existing on these campuses, it is also not about the anti-Semitism at all. It is about just the full-on authoritarianism. Is she still a libertarian, or is that gone?
I have to look into that.
It sort of feels like it's drained out of she may have had that operated and removed.
She's on the Glenn Beck crawlback.
Exactly.
But I do, yeah, that's the President Otto Penn is Trump's been saying that, so she's got to throw that in there, right?
I know, it's fascinating. All right, go ahead.
A kiss for each day we'd spent apart. A kiss for every wound and terror.
President Otto Penn. I don't think that they felt the pressure and the heat. President Trump comes into office. He says, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. It's not about the money. It's not about the settlement. It's about the message that this sends to the Ivy League schools. You will not be allowed to bully and harass Jewish students. They will not be kept from their classes that they're paying for. They will not be intimidated. Not about the money. It's about the message. But I think the fact that President Trump has held strong on this, it's pretty incredible, because they keep calling this man Hitler and a Nazi, but I can't think of many other world leaders that have stood up for Jewish students and Jewish people quite like this current president.
Yeah, I mean, the question I got is, why is Harvard half, Columbia 200, Brown 50, and UCLA 6.1?
It's arbitrary.
Almost as if UCLA is being seen like, dude, you're a nobody, just pay 6.1. Or were they easier to deal with, Tom? What do you know about the story?
Well, UCLA's suit.
Oh, pause it. Hold on for a second. Now, they bring in old man Tom here. He's the policy expert. So basically, he's the guy on the show who reads the article.
Yes. He has the most authority.
Or has ChatGPT summarize.
He's the one who reads the article, or it tells the intern to read the article and explain the article to him. That's what he
reads the production document. Let's be real.
Can I just give just one solution to your brain teaser PBD about why the numbers are different? Because it's arbitrary. Because it's not meant. There's actually no substance here at all.
Group that didn't get federal support.
The story.
Well, UCLA's suit came from a group that didn't get federal support. So this was I believe that's correct. This is an independent group that came and said, hey, you know, this anti-Zionist stuff and the things you were doing on here, we feel settlement. And so UCLA is making a fast settlement with an independent group. Now, if that settlement gets the attention of the White House, which I imagine it would, there could be a federal round to this fight. But that's what's going on with UCLA. But you know what's really interesting about this?
We can get
there are 7,000 undergrad students at Harvard. I think it's 7,089. And number one. Number two,
pause it for a
the
second.
tuition.
Does he really think it's 7,089? Or is he maybe just looking at a piece of paper that says
roughly there?
Roughly, I think last I counted, I've memorized the attendance of all colleges, at least in the Northeast and also in the Northwest. And last I think is 7,089.
That's my job as a policy expert.
Exactly, I'm the policy expert. That's why I said 7,000.
That's why I only had time to dye my hair and not my goatee.
I'm going to skip just a little bit ahead while they do math.
I was wondering who was going to go into that.
With the financial aid that goes out there, it comes out to $55,000 a student. What is 7,000 students times $55,000?
Don't do this to Vinny, bro. $385 million.
My gosh, Vinny, that's correct.
How the hell?
So they could have taken. They could have taken the $500 million and just told all their students, guess what? We're sorry about what happened. Nobody pays tuition this year. So it is about the message. I agree with Tommy. It is not.
It's a fun little thing he says where it kind of proves a point that we could do free college. But there's a little bit more from Tommy here coming up that we can, after he makes this kind of weird point.
Nobody pays tuition this year. So it is about the message. I agree with Tommy. It is not about the money, but we need to take a look at what really the scope of money also is here. It's also the public embarrassment, because to the average person, holy crap, $500 million? They don't know that Harvard's got like a $53 billion endowment right now. I think it's crossed over 53. The average person doesn't know that, but the headline is Trump beat Harvard, Harvard paid up. And that is, I think, the strong message here, that just like the trade, one at a time he's getting them, and now the Ivy League, one at a time he's getting them.
There's two things that strike me. One, obviously sensitive to it today because of our interview. He's just basically saying, like, it's just a full-on authoritarianism. Right. It's really not meaningful for any way. The bottom line is Trump beat Harvard.
Big man wins.
The other thing that I found fascinating is how he says, like, you know, people would be shocked to know that Harvard has this much money. And I think people should be. Now just replace the word Harvard with a name like Elon or a Bill, right, or a dozen other, probably more, billionaires.
Sam Seder's right about the authoritarianism, and I don't ever want to hear from right-wingers again, oh, we're in favor of small government. We just want the government to leave people alone and just let businesses and other institutions, you know, just do their thing. Just leave them alone. I don't know. Have we ever had a president more involved, or at least trying to be involved in more areas than we have with Donald Trump? You know, in this instance, it's harassing universities. And it's incredible to me that we have absolutely no discussion in our country about making college more affordable or trying to put any pressure on universities to help graduates get jobs. You know, we have people who graduate with, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and then with their degree, they have to get a job in a coffee shop because they can't actually find a good job with their degree. No discussion, no national conversation about that. But we are having a national conversation about our moron president going after colleges and universities because of quote unquote woke, and they're anti-Semitic, which is just absolutely insane. So I don't want to hear ever again from Republicans, MAGA, right-wingers, it's all the same thing now, they're all the same, about how they want small government. They want big government to control every aspect of our lives. And Tomi Lahren and Patrick Bet-David and the other goofballs on his show seem to be totally on board with this. As Sam Seder says, it's just authoritarianism.
People would be shocked to find out that they have that kind of money as well. But they would never say that there.
Rob, can you find out, and Tommy, I want to come to you, Rob. Can you find out what the endowment is for UCLA,
Business
Harvard,
guy.
Columbia, and what it is for Brown? Go ahead, Tommy. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, I do. Because I think not only is this a message being sent, I think the message for young, especially young Jewish students and their family, this is also an incredibly strong message. A settlement's great, an acknowledgement is great, but I'll tell you, a lot of these young Jewish students, they're not going to the Ivy League in the Northeast anymore. I'll tell you where they're going. They're going to Tennessee. They're going to Alabama. They're going to Mississippi. They're going to Florida. They're going to SEC schools and some others because they don't want to be harassed and they want to go to school and they don't want to have protests on their campus. They don't want another encampment when these nerds are too...
I'd be willing to bet a significant amount of money that what she just said is 100%.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being a young Jewish student and your parents make you go to like Alabama because they're worried about the anti-Semitism at Columbia?
Right. I'm worried about anti-Semitism in New York City. So I'm gonna go roll Tide down there with all the Klansmen. Like, are you joking?
I'm gonna have to say, probably not the case.
We need to protect you from anti-Semitism. Good luck in Charleston.
When I went to college in Connecticut, there was a woman. Now, granted, this is 40 years ago, but she was from Virginia. 40 years ago, Virginia, and she genuinely thought that I had horns on my head. Yes. Yep. That was like the first couple of days she was in my dorm, and she's like,
but did she think Israel had a right to protect herself?
do you have horns? Do you have horns? And I'm like, what? I don't even know if I knew about that at that time. Like, that was a thing. Like, I mean, I probably did, but I was like, wait, are you fucking with me? Like, I thought, like, oh, she's funny. No. I mean, she was perfectly nice.
Did you tell him the moil removes
That doesn't
them
sound
at birth?
nice.
Yeah, no, the moil takes him off.
Kanye will be looked at as someone that saved the Jews.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You want to Jew me down on what? Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know if I would, go ahead.
protests on their campus because they don't want to be harassed and they want to go to school and they don't want to have protests on their campus. They don't want another encampment when these nerds are too socially awkward and unaware to actually enjoy college. They'd rather be out protesting and waving Hamas flags. They want to go to Alabama.
Nerds. I like how it's social unawareness to be protesting a genocide.
Right.
You Hamas nerds.
You know what this is a version of? This is like this is her Dem exit. Was she on that train? So this is Jewish exit. Jexit.
Ruben's been trying to do that for a while.
Jexit. Jexit and Dexit.
Yeah, I think he actually did literally have a Jexit.
He Jexited, but she's saying there's a mass Jexiting to the south to escape the anti-Semitism of the north.
Specifically Zionist Jews, so it's Exit.
Want to rush a fraternity or a sorority. They want to have a college experience. So it's going to take a lot more from Harvard and the rest of these Ivy Leagues than just a settlement or even just an apology. They're going to have to change the culture on campus, because you're going to see people fleeing to better schools with more attractive people with a better college experience. And that happens in the South.
I want to go back to college now.
Are we already
after that speech?
I bet you do.
Okay, Adam, Mr. knows every state that
Age of consent.
Consent.
Oh, yes.
What do you mean go back to college? You mean you want to go on a college tour right now?
Yes.
Non-traditional student over here.
I mean, right. He wants to go back to class. The context of the conversation you're referencing was him basically defending some of the people that might have been in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book, right? Yes.
So in the video here, Patrick Bet-David and Tomi Lahren and Patrick Bet-David's buddies do not present any actual data to show that Jewish students are going to SEC schools like Alabama in any significant numbers. So it's just another thing that right-wingers are just throwing out there. And the people who watch Patrick Bet-David's show and the people who watch Tomi Lahren's show are just going to eat this up and say, see, the left, they're all anti-Semitic. They hate Jewish people. So Jews now have to go down south to these southern schools. Like Sam Seder is talking about here, the girl from Virginia who went to his college. You don't think Jewish students who go down south to places like Alabama and other SEC schools are going to face some discrimination or at least be treated a little bit strangely? You think they're just going to be completely welcomed with open arms? I don't know. I don't live in the South, but people who do live in the South, how are Northerners treated when they move to the South? I'm just saying. But I love it when Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland get to make fun of Patrick Bet-David and Adam Soskin and Vinny Oshana. Vinny Oshana got to do math there, and he didn't have an aneurysm. He always, he didn't look, he actually had a smile on his face and didn't look like he was ready to blow a gasket like he usually does if he's on Piers Morgan's show or even just on Patrick Bet-David's show. But is this just another nonsense claim from Tomi Lahren and MAGA about Jewish students? It's incredible that they pretend to care about Jews, Jewish people, Jewish students so much. In my opinion, it's completely disingenuous. I don't know any of these people personally, but I have to doubt that Patrick Bet-David and Tomi Lahren really care that much about Jewish students. It's just a wedge for them to try to use against the left. But what do you think about what Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland had to say here? Do you think that Tomi Lahren and Patrick Bet-David actually have a point with any of this? It seems like total nonsense to me, but let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'm Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.